Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone for the morning Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class. And I'd like to take this opportunity to especially thank all the students, those who have come here to ISKCON Kanpur for 3 days camp, this Dasera holiday camp. So today, tomorrow and day after tomorrow in the morning session, we'll be discussing from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 4th Canto, chapter 8, where the character of Dhruva Maharaj has been explained in details. And Dhruva Charitra, or the character of Dhruva Maharaj, is very, very significant for a person who wants to perfect his life in his spiritual journey. So we'll be talking in detail for next 3 days. So I have selected a verse, Canto 4, chapter 8. Chapter is entitled Dhruva Maharaj Leaves Home, and text number 8. Jāye uttānapādasya sunītiḥ surucis tayoḥ suruciḥ preyasī patyur netarā yat-suto dhruvaḥ jāye uttānapādasya sunītiḥ surucis tayoḥ suruciḥ preyasī patyur netarā yat-suto dhruvaḥ jāye uttānapādasya sunītiḥ surucis tayoḥ suruciḥ preyasī patyur netarā yat-suto dhruvaḥ. Jāye of the two wives, Uttānapādasya of King Uttānapāda, sunītiḥ sunītiḥ, suruciḥ suruci, tayoḥ of both of them, suruciḥ suruci, preyasī very dear, patyur of the husband, na itarā not the other, yat whose, sutaḥ son, dhruvaḥ dhruva. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. King Uttānapāda had two queens named Sunīti and Suruci. Suruci was much more dear to the king. Sunīti, who had a son named Dhruva, was not his favorite. Purport. The great sage Maitreya wanted to describe the pious activities of the kings. Priyavrata was the first son of Svāyambhuva Manu, and Uttānapāda was the second. But the great sage Maitreya immediately began to speak of Dhruva Maharaj, the son of Uttānapāda, because Maitreya was very eager to describe pious activities. The incidents in the life of Dhruva Maharaj are very attractive for devotees. From his pious activities, one can learn how one can detach himself from material possessions and how one can enhance one's devotional service by severe austerities and penances. By hearing the activities of pious Dhruva, one can enhance one's faith in God and can directly connect with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and thus one can very soon be elevated to the transcendental platform of devotional service. The example of Dhruva Maharaj's austerity can immediately generate a feeling of devotional service in the hearts of the hearers. Mukam karati vachalam pangul langhaite giring jatkripa tamaham vande Sri Guru Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwaram. So Dhruva Maharaj is a very, very significant character in the pages of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Śrīmad Mahaprabhu, while he was in Jagannath Puri, maybe all of you know that after accepting sannyas order of life, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at the age of 24 left Navadvip Dham and went to Jagannath Puri. And Jagannath Puri became his headquarters, and from there he preached Krishna consciousness all over India. While he was in Jagannath Puri, every day in the afternoon, he used to go to the place Tota Gopinath. So how many of you have gone to Jagannath Puri? Okay, very good. Who have not gone to Jagannath Puri? Really? How many of you heard the name Jagannath Puri? Very nice. So you should plan to visit Jagannath Puri, because that was the headquarters of Śrīmad Mahaprabhu after he accepted the sannyas order of life. And he used to go to a place known as Tota Gopinath. Tota means garden in Oriya language. Tota Gopinath. The Lord Gopinath was in the garden. And Gadadhar Pandit used to worship Tota Gopinath. He used to stay there. And Mahaprabhu used to visit Gadadhar Pandit. And Mahaprabhu used to hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam from Gadadhar Pandit. And while Mahaprabhu was asking Gadadhar Pandit to speak Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Gadadhar Pandit used to ask Mahaprabhu, what you would like to hear? So Mahaprabhu used to say, I like to hear about Dhruva Charitra. I like to hear Prahlad Charitra. So Mahaprabhu heard hundreds of times about Dhruva Maharaj. This is very, very significant. So who is Gadadhar Pandit? Who is Gadadhar Pandit? Radharani. Who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So Radharani is speaking Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam to Krishna. And they are talking about Dhruva Maharaj. But due to the influence of the material nature, when we like to hear Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, we like to hear the Rasa Leela of Krishna. But those who did Rasa Leela, they are talking about Dhruva Maharaj. That is the contradiction. So as a sadhaka, the character of Dhruva Maharaj is very, very significant. Because by studying the life of Dhruva Maharaj, we can perfect our spiritual life. So Dhruva Maharaj, why the character is so attractive? Because Dhruva Maharaj was only 5 years old boy, child. And he perfected his spiritual life in 6 months. I think that's why Prabhupada used to have 6 months training program. But sometimes we have years of training program, still things don't manifest. But Dhruva Maharaj performed 6 months austerity, and after 6 months, Lord Himself appeared in front of him face to face. That was the potency of Dhruva Maharaj. And I don't know how many of you can do that. Don't try to imitate. Because Prabhupada said, we should follow, we should not imitate. So we'll see what to follow. That's why the story of Dhruva Maharaj is very, very important. So it's a conversation between Mitra Muni and Bidura, right? It is known as Mitra Bidur Sangbad. Two great souls are discussing about Dhruva Maharaj. And it is explained here that King Uttānapāda had 2 wives. So you can go back to Brahma. So Brahma was the son of the Lord, and Brahma created Svāyambhuva Manu and Satarupa. And they started creating the progeny. So Svāyambhuva Manu and Satarupa had 2 sons and 3 daughters. So 2 sons, elder one was Priyabrata and younger one was Uttānapāda. So Priyabrata was supposed to be the king because he was the eldest son. But he did not have any interest. The son of a king, eldest son, eligible candidate, naturally he should be the king, but he has no interest. And who can become the best king? Who doesn't want to be the king? That is the principle we should learn. That becoming a king is not a privilege. Becoming a king is a responsibility. So taking up a position is not a privilege. Taking up a position is a responsibility. Prabhupada used to say it's a burden of love. So it's a burden. You have to carry that burden out of love. It's not a privilege. But in the modern times, position is taken as privilege. That's why people are attracted to positions. But those who have the principle of responsibility, they will not be attracted to the positions. Rather, they will be scared to take up positions. So Priyabrata Maharaj was in that category. Uttānapāda became the king. And Uttānapāda had 2 queens. One is Sunīti, other one is Suruci. Name is also very significant name. Niti means principles, values, ethics. And Ruchi means attractive things, tasty things. So these 2 wives represent 2 aspects of our life. Preyas and Sreyas. Sunīti represents Sreya. And Suruci represents prayer. Prayer is always attractive because it is external. And Sreya is internal. That's why it is not so attractive from material point of view. That's why living entity has a tendency to be attracted to the prayers. But Arjuna asked Krishna to tell him what is Sreya for him. Karpanna dasupata sabhava prichhamitang dharma sambhura cheta jas Sreya sannischitang buhitanme sishyastehang sadimang tang prapannam. Spiritual life means looking for Sreyas, not for prayers. So Sreya is very difficult to attain, but it has long-lasting benefit. But prayer is very easy to attain, but it has temporary benefit. So those who are intelligent, they look for something permanent. So spiritual journey means trying to get something which is permanent. That's why knowledge means to know what is temporary and what is permanent. And who is the controller of both. That makes the knowledge fully complete. So our body is temporary. Spirit is permanent. When someone knows both the body and the spirit soul and the controller of both, then that person is in knowledge. But so-called knowledge of this world only deals with the body and matter, only the temporary aspect. That's why this is not complete. So therefore, the conditioned living entities are naturally attracted to the externals. We are so much enamored for external success, achievements, glories, money, positions, possessions. These are very attractive. And what is the definition of success? What you have achieved. Achievement is the key to determine your success. Right? But that is prayer. The so-called achievements in this world are all temporary by nature. By that we are not discouraging the achievements, but achievements should not be the goal of life. Money is also has become very attractive in this age of Kali. In this age, money talks. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam also says, everything is centered around money. Money is needed, but money cannot be the goal of life. So what is the goal of life? That is known as Sreyas. Sunītiḥ. The principles, values, ethics, spirituality. These are the Sreyas. But conditioned living entity has very less interest in these Sreyas. Rather, they are interested in prayers. So here, King Uttānapāda is attracted to Suruci, the beautiful looking wife, the younger one. Sunītiḥ, although she was very chaste, although she was not that beautiful like Suruci, but she was also beautiful, with lot of good qualities. But Uttānapāda was not attracted to Sunītiḥ. He was attracted to Suruci. That's why life is a choice. We should make that choice. Whether we should be attracted to Sunītiḥ or we should be attracted to Suruci. Brahmachari also should choose. Right? So when Arjuna and Duryodhana went to Krishna before Kurukshetra war, both of them went to Krishna for help. So Krishna told that I am not going to fight because it is a fight between the family members. I am not going to take part in any of the sides. But my Narayani Sena can be taken up by you and they can help you in this fight. Actually, Duryodhana came for Narayani Sena. Then who should ask first? So Duryodhana was in anxiety, tension. So Krishna said, Arjuna is younger. So younger one has the right to ask first. Anxiety increased. He said, in case Arjuna asks Narayani Sena, then I am finished. My strategy will be failed. Then Arjuna replied, my dear Lord, whether you fight or don't fight, I want you. Duryodhana was jubilant in the heart. But externally, he was telling, what can I do now? That is called demoniac nature. Something is within and something is without. Internal and external are different. That is the symptom of demoniac nature. And that is the prime feature of this age of Kali. It's called hypocrisy. So Duryodhana did like that. Said, okay, then what can I do? Please give your Narayani Sena. He thought he was very clever. And he thought he has won the game. But time says something different. Who became the victorious? Arjuna. Why? Because that is Sreyas. Arjuna chose Sreyas and Duryodhana chose Preyas. So now we should decide whether we should become Arjuna or we should become Duryodhana. Whether we want Narayan or we want Narayani. So how many of you want to become Arjuna? Okay. So you have already made the right choice. Very good. But test will come. In the class, raising hand is easy. But when in the life situations, when that choice will come, please make the same choice. Then life will become successful. It's a very difficult choice to make. Because Priya is very attractive, like Suruci. So, external attraction is very alluring. That is known as Maya. Maya is very attractive. So, Srila Prabhupada was walking on the beach along with his disciples. So, one of his disciples told Prabhupada, see, the wave of the ocean is so beautiful. Prabhupada said, yes, it is very beautiful from a distance. If you go nearby, that same beauty can destroy your life. Right? Just like Putana. You heard Putana, right? Putana was so beautiful. All the ladies in Braj, they thought, oh, what a beautiful lady came from the heavenly planet, looks like. Extremely beautiful. But when Krishna was sucking his life air, her real beauty manifested in the form of Putana. In the same way, the beauty of this world is very attractive. But try to see that beauty from a distance and offer your respectful obeisances. But if you want to experience that beauty, then the beautiful form of Putana will manifest. Right? So that is the test. So, but our tendency is always to be attracted by the external beauty of this material world. So King Uttānapāda chose Preyas, not the Sreyas. But Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is trying to teach us, we should not choose Preyas, we should choose Sreyas. Then what happens? One day, the son of Suruci, the name of the son of Suruci was Uttam, and the son of Sunīti was Dhruva. So Uttam was on the lap of King Uttānapāda, on the father's lap. So father's lap is a very good place, right? Mother's lap, father's lap. It's a very secure place for the child. The child feels very secured at the lap of the father. Feels more affectionate maybe at the lap of the mother. Security at the lap of father, affection at the lap of mother. We need both affection and security. So parents' lap give that feeling. And see what happens to Dhruva. So Dhruva, being the son of King Uttānapāda, naturally wanted to be on the lap of his father. So he was trying to be on the lap of his father. And the father was sitting on the throne, and he was trying to be on the lap of his father. But Uttānapāda was not so comfortable. Although Uttānapāda loved Dhruva Maharaj, but Suruci was standing next to him. Okay? That's why he could not express his love. So attachment. So when you are attached, then you become compromised in your character. So material attachment compromises the character of a person. So here, the character of Uttānapāda was compromised because of his unhealthy attachment to his wife Suruci. So material attachment is very detrimental to have good character. That's why Dhruva Maharaj character is very important in our life. Why? Because Dhruva Maharaj will show detachment. So detachment is very, very important. But Prabhupada says in our spiritual journey, real detachment is attachment to Krishna. That is real detachment. So devotees are not so much interested in so-called detachment. Rather, devotees are interested in spiritual attachment. So Rupa Goswami says, everything should be engaged in the service of the Lord. One day, one of Prabhupada's disciples came to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhupada, the picture of a yogi came in the newspaper. So yogi, that is a mystic yogi, he's so detached. And he was not touching the money. He's keeping the money away. And that picture came in the newspaper. And it became viral. No, it became very famous. That time no WhatsApp, social media. So it became very famous, popular picture. So Prabhupada said, bring a lot of money. I will hold that money and take a picture. So Prabhupada said he doesn't know the real detachment. He does not know how to engage the money in the service of the Lord. So Srila Prabhupada was in Vrindavan. So a lot of Guru Dakshina came to him and he was counting. Prabhupada was very expert in counting money because he was a businessman in his in his household life. So he was counting money. So two gentlemen came Two VIPs came to meet him. And the secretary told, please wait. And they are waiting and they are seeing the founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, old sannyasi, is counting money. What an unusual feature. So he counted the money and he called his secretary. He said, this money is for Mayapur, this is for Vrindavan, and this is for Mumbai. Prabhupada said, a Brahmana is always a beggar because he engages everything in the service of the Lord. That is called detachment. Detachment means everything should be engaged in the service of the Lord. How? What kind of detachment we can have? So we are very renounced. What you can renounce? Prabhupada used to say. If I say, I have renounced all the money in Reserve Bank of India, what is the meaning of that renunciation? Everything belongs to Krishna. What we can renounce? We can renounce the mentality that something belongs to me. That is the renunciation. That we think that we are the owner. We think we are the proprietor. That is illusion. That illusion has to be renounced. And how it can be? By engaging everything in the service of the Lord. Bhaktarang jagadavasang sarvaloko maheshwaram shuidang sarvabhutanam gyattamang santimicchati. Who can experience peace and bliss in his life? When someone understands that Krishna is the proprietor, Krishna is the enjoyer, and Krishna is the well-wishing friend of every living entity. So if Krishna is the proprietor, if Krishna is the enjoyer, then everything should be engaged in the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that is real detachment. So here we are talking about attachment. So attachment, material attachment and Krishna consciousness cannot go together. Srila Bhaktivedanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada used to tell a story. So in the early days, the marriage party used to go by boat from one village to another village. So one of the marriage party was there on the boat, and they was on the boat and they will have the journey whole night, and the next morning they will reach the next village where the marriage will take place. So they all boarded, boarding was complete, and the boat was ready. The boatman, he also started driving the boat, and people, those who are on the boat, they are very happy. A good boat, good boatman, everything is wonderful. They took their dinner and they slept. In the morning, they thought they have reached the destination. But they realized that boat did not move an inch, although everything was very fantastic. Why? They discovered that boatman forgot to lift the anchor of the boat. That's why boat was not moving. In the same way, we can have the boat of devotional service, doing Mangalarati, Japa, chanting, dancing, hearing, everything is happening. But boat may not move if we forget to lift the anchor. So material attachment is like the anchor that has to be lifted. So material attachment and Krishna consciousness cannot go together. But here we are seeing the result of material attachment. So when we have material attachment, our character will be compromised. So if we want to have good character, because spirituality means developing good character. If character is not built up, there is no question of spiritual life. We used to learn in our early days, in our school days, from our parents, from our teacher. They used to teach us, if money is lost, nothing is lost. If health is lost, something is lost. But if character is lost, everything is lost. But this principle has become reversed by the influence of Kali. Because in Kali Yuga, everything is ulta. Everything is opposite. What is the principle now? If character is lost, nothing is lost. If health is lost, something is lost. But if money is lost, everything is lost. Money talks, people say. Prabhu, money talks. No money, no honey. Money is sweeter than honey. Much more sweeter than honey. So attractive. But if we are attracted to money, money is needed. But if we become attracted to money, then character will be compromised. And we have seen attraction of money compromise the character of great people of this world. We have seen, we are seeing, and we will be seeing. Because that is the nature of this world. So material attachment compromises the character of a person. So here, King Uttānapāda, he was the king, and it is happening many, many years back. Not now. That time same principle applied. He was attracted to prayer, materially attracted, and he was compromised. He was not attracted to Sunītiḥ, who was the embodiment of character. But he was attracted to suruci, the material external beauty. And now he cannot show his love to his son, Dhruva. And when Dhruva was trying to be on the lap of his father, Sunītiḥ became very angry. So attachment leads to anger. Kamayesha, krodayesha, rajaguna samudbhava. Material passion leads to anger. So she became very, very angry. And she started using very, very harsh words. What she said? She said, don't dare to sit on the lap of your father. Although you are the son of the king, you are the son of your father, King Uttānapāda, but you have no right to sit on his lap, to sit on the throne. Why? Because you are not born from my womb. That is called ego. Ego makes people blind. So Suruci was blinded by the ego. And what was the ego? Why this ego came? Ego came from position. That's why when things is covered over. So that's why we have to be very, very careful. That's why it is said, if you want to know the character of a person, give him power. The character of a person is tested in difficult situations. So therefore, here Suruci is puffed up, highly egoistic, because she knew that she is liked by King Uttānapāda. That was her ego. Very egoistic. And when you are having ego, then you insult people. You offend people. That's why pride is the cause of offense. And ignorance is the cause of pride. We forget. Forgetfulness of our own position. So Suruci was completely forgetful about her position. She was identifying herself as being the dear wife of King Uttānapāda, which is very, very temporary by nature. Within a flash of a moment, that position can be taken away by the Supreme Lord. But she was not able to understand that. Why? Because she was very attached. And because of that attachment, she was blind. And because of that blindness, she developed a lot of ego. And because of that ego, she was insulting Dhruva like anything. Then she continued. She said, Dhruva, your desire can be fulfilled. For that you have to do certain things. What do you have to do? You have to perform severe austerities and worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. See, this is called Vedic culture. Even Suruci knew. In order to get something extraordinary, you have to take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is not there in this age of Kali. In this age of Kali, we think by our own endeavor, we can become powerful. Just like I was seeing a video that day, that Krishna was telling Arjuna after the war was over. Krishna told Arjuna, first you get off from the chariot. No, first you. Then he said, no, you come down. So he came down, then Krishna came down. As soon as Krishna came down, the chariot blasted, burned into ashes. So by that, Krishna is showing Arjuna that you become victorious not because of your own strength. The chariot was absorbing all the attacks because Krishna was there on the chariot. So everything comes from Krishna, either through material energy or through spiritual energy. But out of ego, we think we are doing things. Prakite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasa ahankara vimuratma kartaham iti mannate. Out of false ego, we think we are the doers. But everything is done by three modes of material nature. Those who are in goodness, they are forced to act in the mode of goodness. Those who are in passion, they are forced to act in mode of passion. Those who are in ignorance, they are forced to act in the mode of ignorance. They have no other choice. These are like the ropes of the material nature. But we think we are doing it. We are not doing it. It's all done by three modes of material nature. But we think we are doing it because of our ahankara, because of our ego. So here, Suruci is insulting Dhruva, but she is telling the right thing. If you want to achieve that position, then you must worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead and go through serious penances and austerities. Then what is the result? That is the offense he committed at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He said, after worshipping the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you should give up your body and take your next body in my womb. So that is the result of worshipping Supreme Personality of Godhead. So those who worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, what happens to him? He goes back to the spiritual world. But here Suruci is demanding that you should take birth in my womb. What an audacity she had. That's why she committed a great offense at the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And because of that, she lost her own son. Uttama was killed because of that offense. So, offending the great person is very, very dangerous. So, you have to be very, very careful. Duryodhana, although he was so powerful, Kauravas were so powerful, but they could not become victorious because they were not respectful. So sometimes we think humility is weakness, but humility is the greatest strength. Yudhishthira Maharaj, he took the blessings of Kaurava leaders, Dronacharya, Kripacharya, before the Kurukshetra war. And because of that blessings, they became so powerful. So blessings are very, very powerful. So when we take shelter of the blessings of the superiors, then that person will definitely become victorious. So we have to learn that we should not offend anyone, and especially we should be very, very careful while we are dealing with the senior exalted personalities. So here, Suruci did not only offend Dhruva, she also offended the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Out of anger, she said something which is very, very offensive, even to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. She spoke. So words are very powerful. Words are like bullet. Once out of the gun, you cannot take it back. In the same way, if you speak something, you're going to take it back. So you have to be very, very careful. That's why the nectar of instructions begins with Bacha Begam, controlling the urges to speak. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also explains austerity of the speech. We have to be very, very careful, because words have a lot of potency in both way, positive way and also in a negative way. For Dhruva, although the words of Suruci were very harsh, but from devotional point of view, it was favorable to Dhruva, because she recommended to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Whether it is positive or negative, when something is connected with the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it becomes auspicious. That's it is said, akamo sarva kamo va mokshakam udaradi tibrena bhakti yogena jajatang purusang param. If someone having a lot of desires, has no desire, having the desire for liberation, whoever he may be, if he is connected with the Supreme Personality of Godhead through devotional service, his life will become perfect. The glaring example is Putana. Again Putana. So Putana, she was a witch. She was 8 miles long size. 8 miles. 1 jojana. Do you believe that? Do you believe? It's very easy. Mystic power. What to talk about 1 jojana? You can become 1,000 jojana size also. That's the power of mystic yoga. See, they are all mystic people. But she came to kill Krishna because she was very expert in killing small children. So what was the strategy? Strategy was that she will come, she will feed her breast milk. Along with that, there was some poison mixed. And Krishna will take that poison and he will die. That was the plan. How was the plan? Plan was good. Strategy was good. But for Krishna, nothing works. No strategy works. That's why Prabhupada says, Lord, we propose and God dispose. So she has the desire. She had the desire that Krishna will take the breast milk and the poison. That was the strategy. But Krishna took something more, which was not known to Putana. That is the material benediction. No? We always pray to the, my dear Lord, please give this, please give that. But Krishna gives something extra, which you don't want. That is the problem with material benediction. So Putana wanted that Krishna should drink the milk, and she wanted that he should drink the poison, then he will be dead. But what happened? Krishna, along with the milk and poison, he also drank the life air of Putana, which Putana did not expect. And Putana was killed just by sucking the life air. Very easily Krishna killed Putana. But when Putana was burnt, body was to be burned, his body was cut into pieces, a huge body, 8-mile size body. Burning that body is not easy, that cremation. Very difficult cremation. Brajavasis did that. But when they are cremating the body of Putana, the fragrance started spreading all over Gokul. Fragrance. How the burning of the dead body could generate fragrance. Have you seen that? Those who have experience of burning body, they understand what kind of fragrance comes, right? It's a bad smell comes, right? But for Putana, it's like a wonderful fragrance all over Gokul. Why? Because Putana was touched by Krishna. That's why she became completely pure. That is the power of Krishna consciousness. So Putana became purified, completely purified, because of the touch of Krishna. So we can also get the touch of Krishna through the process of devotional service, through the process of Krishna consciousness. So however sinful one can be, if he is engaged in the pure process of Krishna consciousness, he will be purified. That is the potency of pure devotional service. So here, although Suruci was telling in a negative way, but it became extremely positive. Why? Because she was talking about Krishna consciousness. She recommended Dhruva to worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That was a very, very good advice Suruci gave to her stepson. So we are talking about the power of words. That's why we should use words in a positive way, so that we can create a positive impact in the lives of the people. And that is the process of Krishna consciousness. When we speak from the scriptures, when we speak the words of Krishna and the previous acharyas, that will create a positive impact in the lives of others. That is the propagation of Krishna consciousness. Propagation of Krishna consciousness means using the words in a proper way. The proper use of the words. And that is talking about Krishna. When we talk about Krishna, that is the proper use of words. But in this world, people have so many things to talk about. Sukadeva Goswami says, Sota Vyadini Rajendrang Ninangsanti Sahasrasa Apasatang Atpatattam Grihesu Griha Medinam. Those who are not Krishna conscious, they have thousands of topics to talk about. Thousands and thousands of topics. But those topics will bind the conditioned soul in this material world. But when we talk about Krishna, the same talking will open the door of Vaikuntha planets. That is the power of Krishna Katha. That is the power of spiritual words. That is the power of the words of the scriptures. But anyway, words are very, very powerful. So I'll tell two stories to explain the power of words. There are two frogs, and two frogs fell into the well. It's a deep well. And when people are in difficulty, people get a lot of interest. What happened? What happened? Right? If you are in difficulty, if something good happens, they will never ask. If someone hears that you are in difficulty, they will ask, you are okay, na? You are okay? People take fun when someone is in difficulty. That is the nature of this world. So these two frogs, this frogs community are also like that. So two frogs fell into the well, and all the frogs from the frog community came to see the fun. And they are celebrating. The two frogs fell into the well. And one of the frog was trying to get up. Both are trying. So first one was trying to get up. And these people, these frogs, the community of frogs, they are telling, oh, why you are trying to get up? You cannot get up. You cannot get up. Don't try. So discouragement is a natural thing in this material world. You always get discouragement. You will get very, very less number of people, very rare to get people who will encourage you. If someone is encouraging you, that is unusual. If someone is discouraging you, that is natural. That is usual feature of this material world. So nobody will encourage you in this world. So this frog community also was not encouraging that frog to get up. He is trying to get up. And they discouraged him. And frog gave up. He said, okay, they are discouraging because discouragement also has a lot of potency. So he gave up. So they are telling, I cannot get up, I cannot get up, I cannot get up. You hear the same thing again and again, you start believing it. So he lost his confidence and gave up. Other frog, he was trying to get up, and they are also trying to discourage that frog. But in spite of so much discouragement, he was getting up. And he came out of the well. He said, they told that we are discouraging you so much. But how come you got up? He said, I have hearing problem. So that's why sometimes we have to stop hearing. We have to stop hearing negative words. Then you will become successful to get up. So two things, hearing positive words and not hearing negative words. Very, very important. So here the frog became successful because he had some hearing problem. That's why he could not hear, and he thought that they are encouraging him. Their negative words became very, very positive to him. And that's why he felt encouraged and inspired, and he got out of the well. So another story, power of words. One beggar came to a village, and he came to the place where the landlord, the main person of the village, very rich, he came to that house. Thought better start from here. So as soon as the beggar came, beggar was very intelligent. He started glorifying the landlord. Oh, you are so famous, you are so glorious, you are so charitable. So he thought that landlord will be very happy. Glorification, everybody likes. So landlord said, are you hearing? He was talking to his wife. I have kept some money, no? Please bring that. So beggar thought things are working. So he started glorifying more. He said, oh, you have such a wonderful house. I have not seen this kind of house in my life. Such a wonderful house you have. Then landlord said, oh, I kept some jewels in my locker. Please bring that. He said, oh, no, from money, jewels. Then he started glorifying. Oh, your garden is so beautiful. You have developed this village so nicely. He started glorifying more and more. And he was telling, bring this, bring that. After some time, beggar started realizing nothing is coming. Landlord is telling, bring, but nothing is coming. Then beggar asked the landlord that you are telling to bring, but why your wife is not bringing? Then landlord said, it will not come. He said, why? He said, you are satisfying me by your words. I am satisfying you also with my words. This is the power of words. So that is Kali Yuga. People pamper. So don't be so much enamored by this glorification. So hearing about own glorification is not so favorable for Krishna consciousness. So therefore we should glorify others and we should criticize ourselves. So that is the principle we should learn. But the principle we learn from here that words are very, very powerful. Therefore we should use our words in a positive way so that it can create a positive impact in the lives of others. And that is the principle of Krishna consciousness. So time is up today. So I will end here. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Grantharaj Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So you have some time for asking some question if you have any. Any question? That's why I ended 10 minutes before for question. If you don't have, then you can go, no problem.
You were explaining how words are very powerful. And the example you gave is also that Suruci used, although he used harsh words, but at the same time he spoke about Krishna. So, anything related to Krishna always purified. But if we speak in the same harsh way to somebody, although it may be about Krishna, he may not get a positive. And it appears that Dhruva Maharaj was motivated by the Sunītiḥ to take the words in a patyur.
So what's your question?
That although what Suruci spoke, it was related to Krishna, but it could not produce that good effect.
It produced good effect, no? That's why he became devotee. So when he came to Sunīti, that will be discussed tomorrow. So when he came to Sunīti, Sunīti told Dhruva that your stepmother told the words in a harsh way, but whatever she told is correct. Follow her instructions. So instructions were proper, but it was delivered in a wrong way. But it became rectified by the intervention of Sunīti. So there is a higher principle. One is this principle that whether words are spoken in a good way or bad way, if it is spoken about Krishna, it has good benefit. That is the principle. But the higher principle of that is that it should be spoken in a way it is acceptable to the people. So that is the higher principle that was done by Sunīti, and that will be a subject matter tomorrow. But whether it is spoken in a harsh way or nice way, if anything is spoken about Krishna, that will create auspiciousness in this world. Okay? Because Krishna is all auspicious. But we should not follow Suruci, we should follow Sunīti. Okay, Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा महाराज जी। महाराज जी, आपने बताया कि ये श्लोक भगवद गीता का प्रकृति क्रिया महाराज जी गुणे कर्माणि समासा अहंकार विमूढ़ात्मा कर्ता अहमिति मन्यते। तो महाराज जी, हम लोग जो डिवोशनल सर्विस कर रहे हैं, ये किस में आएगा?
So bhakti is carried out by internal potency. Material activities are carried out by three modes of material nature. But devotional service is carried out by the internal potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So when you do bhakti, that is done by the internal potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay?
महाराज जी, one more question. सब लोग का ब्लेसिंग्स ले रहे थे, तो उसमें महाराज जी कुछ लोग एनवियस लोग भी होंगे, वो ब्लेसिंग्स ले रहे होंगे, तो वो मतलब झूठे, क्या वो ब्लेसिंग्स देंगे ही या नहीं देंगे?
Yudhishthir Maharaj took blessings from Dronacharya, Kripacharya. They are gurus, but they are in the opposite side. They are not duplicitous people. They are genuine spiritual leaders. But somehow they are in the wrong side. But in spite of wrong side and opposite side, Yudhishthir Maharaj took the blessings of the seniors. And that created a lot of potency in his side. So blessings from the seniors are very, very powerful. We are not talking about duplicitous blessings. We are talking about genuine blessings. Okay, Hare Krishna. They did not get duplicitous blessings. They got genuine blessings. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj, this shloka which you quoted, Prakriti Gramanani Gunekarmani Shreyas. So in that context, one question which comes in the mind of a student is that he sees that there are other students who are studying very much, like 10 hours, 12 hours, 15 hours, and then they are getting some post position in material circles. So then doubt comes whether everything is done by Prakriti or his endeavors are also.
Yeah. So endeavor is also the result of guna. Someone who can study 10, 12 hours, he must have some special guna, na? That's why he is able to study. Some people like to study, but they cannot study. As soon as they start studying, they sleep. But in the sleep, they think that I should study. Because what? Because of the nature. We have seen that. Along with the nature, then there is another thing is karma. Someone is studying 10, 12 hours, someone is studying 5 hours. But who is studying 5 hours is getting better position than 10 hours. How? Karma. Someone is studying same intelligence, same endeavor. One is not becoming successful at all. And someone is becoming very, very successful. You have not seen this? By that we cannot understand that endeavor is not enough. It doesn't discourage endeavor, but we should not think that endeavor alone can bring you success. We cannot separate endeavor from other things. So there's a bigger picture of that. But we don't see that bigger picture. We think our endeavor alone is enough to bring success in our life. That is the limited understanding. Okay?
Krishna Maharaj, ये क्वेश्चन था कि you said quantity is not a weakness, it is everything. जब नॉन डिवोटी से डील करते हैं हम लोग, अगर quantity दिखाते हैं तो वो हम लोग को फोन समझते हैं और बनाने की कोशिश करते हैं, तो उसे कैसे डील करें?
तो पहले बोलिए ह्यूमिलिटी का मतलब क्या है आपका अंडरस्टैंडिंग में? ह्यूमिलिटी दिखाने का चीज़ है क्या? मैं कितना हम्बल हूँ, मैं हम्बल हूँ, मैं पतित हूँ, ये ह्यूमिलिटी है क्या? ह्यूमिलिटी का मतलब क्या है पहले बताइए आप, पहले बताइए. वो अंडरस्टैंडिंग क्लियर नहीं है, इसलिए सब्सिक्वेंट मिसअंडरस्टैंडिंग आ रहा है. बताइए ह्यूमिलिटी का मतलब क्या है? मैंने प्रश्न पूछ रहा हूँ अभी, सॉरी फॉर दैट. हाँ, पतित नहीं हूं लेकिन पतित समझना चाहिए. हाँ मैं शुद्ध भक्त हूं लेकिन मैं पापी बोल रहा हूं, इसको कहते हैं ह्यूमिलिटी, है कि नहीं? हाँ बोल रहे थे. ह्यूमिलिटी मीन्स टू understand our real position. That is called humility. Humility comes from knowledge. Sanatana Goswami said, who am I? When we know who we are, that is called humility. Jivero Swarupa Nitya Krishna Das. We are the servant of Krishna. That is humility. So how people can misuse this? Now outside world they are also talking about servant leadership. All leaderships are failing now. Even the corporate world, they are telling we should cultivate the mood of a servant as a leader. So they are taking our philosophy now, but we are thinking our philosophy doesn't work. So their philosophy is not working. That position gives power. That is the philosophy outside. But real strength does not come from power. Position-based leadership is the lowest level of leadership. Value-based leadership is the highest leadership. That is the principle taught in the corporate world nowadays. So one of the value is that we are the servant. When you have the service attitude, servant means what? Servant means to help others. It's a weakness or strength? It's the greatest strength. But we think that is the greatest weakness because of ignorance. And that's why you are all suffering. So, humility does not mean that we are thinking that we are small. We are small. We are the servant. When we act on that platform, that is the meaning of acting on the platform of humility. But when we think we are the master, that is called pride. And that is the greatest weakness in our life. We are not the master, we are the servant. So this is applicable in any aspect of life. And that will be always very powerful. Whether in the dealing with the materialistic people, dealing with the spiritual people, dealing with anybody. That is the universal principle. Okay? Hare Krishna. बोलिए माइक लास्ट क्वेश्चन 9:30 ऑलमोस्ट
Hare Krishna Maharaj, like you told that once hearing one's own glorification is very poisonous and detrimental for one's spiritual advancement. So practically sometimes Maharaj we see that like birthday fest is there. So in that we are forced to hear our glorification. And sometimes the false ego is very deep. And sometimes we realize that although we have heard all the philosophy, so in that situation, when we are forced to hear our glorification, how we can tackle that situation and try to maintain our
So please invite us for your birthday. So hearing glorification, own glorification, is not so favorable. That is the principle. But more important that expecting glorification, that is more dangerous. Getting respect is not a problem, but expecting respect is the problem. So what happens when we hear same thing again and again, we start believing it. That is the problem. That's why if we are not mature, then better to avoid hearing or glorification. Because we cannot handle it. Because we will start believing it. Right? If someone is glorifying, that is their glory. The glorious people can see the glories in others. That is not my glorification. That is their glorification. That's why who is glorifying, he is glorified. Not the person who is glorified. You understand? But because of our immaturity, we start thinking whatever they are telling is correct and they should know more. Right? They don't have the complete knowledge. They have some ignorance, and this ignorance should be dispelled. Okay? By the sword of knowledge. Hare Krishna. So, now more than 9:30, so other programs are there for all of you. So, we'll end here and see you tomorrow. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Bhaktavinda ki jai, Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bo.